What up, YouTube? It's your favorite commentator here, Gabriel, and we're back with another show about nothing. Today, I want to touch on a few topics. First one, setting boundaries, man. I've had some experience with this in the past as someone who was horrible at it growing up and not understanding how boundaries work. Growing up in a house with 6 other people, you kind of tend to realize that the little bit of boundary or a little bit of privacy you do have, it's not a lot, sharing a room, having, parents that very involved in your childhood, so they just walk in and out when they want to. I had to learn how to set boundaries as an adult. Learning, especially not only with your family, but with your friends too. It's really important to kind of understand that and learn that about yourself and where you want people at in your life. It's something that if you aren't taught when you're a child, it's kind of hard to learn because you go through a lot of ups and downs, and there's a lot more. It's not as successful when you're starting out. So I remember, I'll never forget this. This happened to me when I was in the 4th grade, and this is kind of where I learned how to set boundaries with other people. I'm in 4th grade. I'm on a field trip with my class. I forget where we were going, somewhere. And, back then, the parents would show for us or whatever. And a mom of this guy who I was friends with is driving. And he's sitting in the front seat. It's me and my friends. It was like a minivan. So he's in the front. It's 3 of us here and then 3 of us in the back. It's one of the old school minivans with the 2 long seats, right? So we're all talking, to a whole bunch of guys, 4th grade kids in the van. And he was talking, and he stopped talking. I'm trying to talk to him. I was trying to ask him a question, whatever. I don't remember what it was. And I just remember trying to get his attention. And the only way I knew how to do that, I pulled on his ear really hard, and he screamed and his mom looked at me like, "What are you doing? Why would you do that? Why would you do that to get his attention?" And it kind of stuck with me. You don't touch people's personal space, or you don't leave people alone like that, right? And it kind of, as I've gotten older, it's kind of helped me as far as in my life when things or people are kind of being extra or just been doing a lot, to learn to let them know hey, chill out. Or also in relationships, boundaries are really big in relationships, right? Understanding sometimes that things you like or things you want to do or things just whatever they might not want to do all the time, understand it's okay, and having that communication, talking it out, even with your family, right? Sometimes your family might overstep. They talk about stuff they don't know nothing about, or they put themselves or interject themselves into stuff that they have nothing to do with, and you kind of, especially your parents, you kind of go, okay, I'm gonna listen to them. Nope. Sometimes you gotta say, hey, nah, this is not your area of expertise. It's not really your place to speak on that, and it's okay to do that. It's okay. You'd be surprised how many people do it to you without you even knowing. But then when it comes to you, you gotta have that, that strength and that self-respect for yourself to go, I'm not going to give in to everybody, right? And you kind of have to put up those boundaries or put up those, mechanisms in your life to kind of go, okay, I'm going to be over here to myself, and I'm going to do this with myself, And that just comes with understanding what you like and what you don't like. There are a lot of times growing up, when I first got my own place, right, I would go to people's houses, hang out with my friends. But I was I don't want people to come to my house, and for me, that was okay. My space it's my sanctuary. It's where I kind of, relax and mellow out. But then I had people kind of go, bro, you never invite us over. And I had to kind of, come to grips with the fact yeah, I know. I don't want people in my house, right? That was a boundary I set for myself. But in being a nice person or someone who understands, I like to try and be fair. I like to try. It's hard sometimes, but I am somebody who thinks, doing to others as you would do to them. So if I'm going to everybody's house, eating their food, hanging out with them, and doing stuff at their crib, it's only right that I try at least once to open my home when I feel ready, right? Not being pressured, when I feel ready, do stuff like that. So, just communicating is the biggest thing with setting boundaries too, man. If people really love you and they really care about you, they might not always like it. That's something that as adults we have to realize. They might not like what you have to say, but you have to say it nonetheless. You have to get your point across. You have to let people know how you feeling, right? I have this issue. My friends sometimes, it's hey, this is what I'm feeling, and you might not like it. And I'm not trying to say it in no detrimental way. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. It's just, this is how I'm feeling, right? Feelings are important. I feel like as men, sometimes we don't really want to share our feelings, you know? I don't know if you guys watched the I Am Athlete podcast, right? They had the most recent episode where Brandon Marshall like went crazy. And the next episode he came out, I was like, yeah, like, I was mad at you, Chad. Like, I was upset at what you said to me. You know, and we don't have those conversations enough, I feel like. Period, men and women. Like, let's just get it real. Like, we don't, sometimes we revert to yelling at each other or just not talking to each other. You know, you kind of go ghost, right? Instead of going, hey, especially about somebody you care about or somebody that you look as your friend or your family, like, hey, you hurt my feelings. And on the flip side of that, the person who quote unquote did the hurting might not always agree. However, they should try to understand, right? That was my biggest thing growing up and coming into adulthood, is going, why your feelings hurt? I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I didn't mean to say, like, what I said you shouldn't take it as that. That's not, I can't make them decide how to take something I'm saying. You know, I can't say X, Y, Z and expect you to receive it how I'm trying to give it out, because we're two different people, right? So just trying to meet people halfway. And that's kind of where I want to segue into my next thing. Meeting people where they are, right? In search, you can't do it all the time. Because I had a incident over the weekend where my team, AU team, we had a good weekend. We're beating a team we're up 20, right? So the clock's running. And this team, you know, they're fighting hard, they're playing hard. We just had a good day, good shooting day. My team, because we have lost by 20 before, you know, I hate saying it, but we have, you know, full disclosure, like, being honest with you guys here. No one stopped scoring on us, and I don't take it as a sign of disrespect. If you can score, we're not playing a defense score. So my girls wanted to keep going. They wanted to keep playing. You know, the girls who don't play as much in the game, they want to score. You put the second unit in, I'm not to score. They don't play as much, right? So when my second unit's in, they want to keep scoring because they don't play as much, right? The coach of the team yells over, hey, man, it's 4 minutes left to go. You still pressing? And I kind of was taken aback, like, he's talking to me? And ref was like, yeah, he's talking to you. And I'm like, okay. And, you know, and mind you, at that point, I didn't tell my girls to press. They were doing it just because they wanted to keep scoring. You know, it's kind of it's kind of when you smell blood in the water, right? When sharks smell blood in the water, they coming. I don't care if it was accident or not. If it's blood in the water, sharks coming. And I pride myself on having my team. We're some sharks, man. Like, when we hitting, we smell blood. We go. That's how I play. That's how my players play. Like, blood in the water, it's time to eat, right? So he said that, and I kind of took a little offense to that, but, you know, that was me being sensitive at the time. And I told my girls, turn it up. We ended up winning by, I think, 28, right? After the game, I had to tell my girls, hey, I'm sorry if you guys, they didn't even know what happened, but I just wanted to tell them I'm sorry, you know, for kind of taking what he said personally, because you guys were playing great. You guys were doing everything the right way. You guys weren't talking smack. You guys weren't being disrespectful. You guys, even though we were the better team, you guys weren't taunting. You guys were playing the right brand of basketball, right? And I told them, you never little yourself for anybody. Never, ever in life. If you are somebody who has potential, or somebody who has that quote-unquote light shined on you, you never dim your light for nobody. Now, if that team would have been just as good as us or better than us and they were scoring, I would never tell my girls to, you know, let's just give up, right? And I wouldn't expect him to tell his girls to, all right, stop going hard, right? In this life, we teach our young people and ourselves, if you have the ability to, you give you 100%, right, at all times, especially if you love something, right? If you love something, give it 100%. Don't go into it thinking, you know, you can't or it won't work out. So why would I tell my team to, we're up, they're playing good, hey, put off the gas? Now, I have ways of doing that without saying that. Hey, let's run our offense and get a good shot, right? That's just me trying to tell our girls, I understand we up, but let's try and, instead of just forcing it because we know we're better, let's work on some stuff ourselves in the same process, right? But it was just, you know, one of the things where I meeting people halfway, right? Hey, man, I'm not finna disrespect you by stop. Your girls are playing hard. So why would I disrespect them by telling my girls to take foot off the gas? Because trust me, growing up, I've lost really bad before. But in doing so, it made me have to tell myself, I either got to work really hard to get better or this ain't it for me. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? So, you know, it's gonna sound crazy, but sometimes getting beat like that makes you really have to take some look in yourself and go, yo, do I really want this? Because if I do, I gotta up my game, right? So to the whole meet people halfway thing, right? Sometimes you got to when it comes to feelings, emotions, things that people, you know, when people are being vulnerable, sometimes you can't always be that, you know, person, that big person. You got to go, all right, let me come down here real quick. Not even saying it's low or less than, it's just, let me get off my high horse to come down. Okay, what's up? Being empathetic, right? And if you are somebody who's dated me, I am, you know, I've come a long way in my empathy, you know, and I'm transparent. I'm still not as good as I need to be when it comes to that, but I know I'm a lot better. And you know, that being empathetic takes work. You know, we all have different backgrounds. We all have different ways of looking at stuff. We all have different differences of opinion. So sometimes if you want somebody to kind of understand how you feel, and it takes time, because I might go, well, I don't understand that. That doesn't make sense to me. That's stupid. Like, and it's not, but it takes time for you to go, okay, I see where you're coming from. You know, I get it. I understand why you feel that way, and I can see that, right? And just kind of trying to understand what makes them like that, or how they became like that, because it's not, everybody's different, man, and there's beauty in that, right? Some people are quote unquote more tough on the outside. Like me, growing up, I was real tough on the outside, and I had to learn, like, hey man, just like everybody else, I got feelings. Why try and bury them just to prove to everybody I'm tough? Why try and, you know, not talk about it if I'm having a down day, right? You know, I have friends, I've met people who, you know, go through depression, who deal with anxiety, and they don't want to talk about that stuff. They fight, they're weak. You know, I got players who deal with that type of stuff, and, you know, I try and express to them, you're not weak for having emotions. You ain't at all. It takes a lot more strength to talk about how you're feeling than to bury it deep down inside and walk around like nothing's wrong. That is easy to do. But talking out to your friends, your family, or even a therapist, that takes courage, you know? And it's, you know, it's okay. You know, I don't judge anybody for you know, expressing themselves. You know, I just always try and, you know, understand, okay, where's it come from? Because a lot of times it is a deep-seated stuff, or it's deeper than we think, right? It's not just what happened. You know, me and you are, you know, talking about something, and, you know, your feelings hurt. Sometimes it ain't me. What I said might have triggered you, but sometimes it's, you know, stuff that happened in your past, with your family, friends, relationships, whatever, personal stuff. It's, so, you know, when I say meet them halfway, it's trying to understand, you know, what they're going through and what got them to that, because sometimes it's super deep-seated, deep-rooted, you know? And that's just something I picked up, you know, in my travels and my experiences with people, and it's, you know, I'm getting better with it. I'm not perfect at all, but, you know, we all strive to be better, right? But other than that, man, those two things I really wanted to touch with you guys. I know I haven't, you know, put a video up in a while, but I'm going to try and get more consistent. This last week has been crazy for me. But I appreciate everybody subscribing, and, you know, comment, man. I would love to interact with you guys. I'm still on TikTok. Parking Wars is doing great. So if you have TikTok, come over there. It's @GabeHim. Drop a like, a follow. Let me know. You know, comment. Let me know, you know, what you like it, what you like. And I want to interact with you more, with you guys on here more, man. Just definitely leave a comment, and we can talk, and I'll drop more videos. Show about nothing. It's about me, Gabriel, and my life and things I think about. But that's today's show. Appreciate you guys for sticking with me. Peace.